Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of your Daily Guides, the series where I dive into in-depth guides and walkthroughs of games like Honkai Star Rail, Zenless, and Wuthering Waves. Today, we're actually going to expand on the video I recently made about why you shouldn't summon for Chisa, because I've been thinking about this a lot more from different perspectives, and I wanted to revisit the topic for those of you who genuinely rely on my breakdowns to help you make your decisions. All the timestamps are down in the description if you want to skip ahead to your favorite part, and if you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, before we dive in, everything I'm talking about here is based on my current opinions, thoughts, and speculation. If I end up getting something wrong or you disagree with a point, feel free to drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts on this. So, when we talk about Chisa and Wuthering Waves, the real question isn't just is she good, but rather who is she actually good for? Because a new-to-play player and a free-to-play veteran are not the same thing, and those are the topics I want to touch upon today. A new player is someone stepping into the game with almost no roster, no established teams, and a future full of options, especially now that we're heading into patch 3.0 and beyond, where the character pool is only getting bigger and stronger. Meanwhile, a veteran free-to-play player probably already has a built and optimized lineup, and usually they don't need someone like Chisa unless she opens up something their current teams can't do. And that's exactly where her value becomes interesting, but also pretty debatable. Her big selling point is not only her new Havoc Bane mechanic, but also what her kit brings to the table for future Resonators. A good example is her outro skill, because it increases the maximum stacks of negative status effects, something that Rover already does extremely well, specifically for arrow erosion team comps. So, in specialized comps like Psychona or Phoebe, where arrow erosion and spectro-frazzle stacking is the entire engine of the damage profile, Chisa could theoretically replace Rover to enable even more consistent stacking added with Defense Ignore. And that's genuinely valuable, but that's if you already own Psychona or Phoebe, and if you're running those very specific oriented teams. And here's the catch. Most veteran free-to-play players or whales either already have a functioning Psychona and Phoebe-based team, or they simply don't need to replace Rover because Rover is free, fully resonated, and fits into those comps naturally. And if a veteran waiter free-to-play or whale doesn't own Psychona or Phoebe, or just doesn't care about that debuff stacking playstyle, then Chisa becomes extremely skippable because she's not unlocking anything new for them. However, for a new player, Chisa becomes way more interesting. Why? Because as a new-to-play player, you're not locked into old metas, old characters, or old habits. You're going to be exposed to tons of save for this character or pull this rerun advice online. But the reality is that most of those recommended units are older banners you might not have access to, or you'll have to wait months for reruns while battling the real fear of missing out. Chisa, on the other hand, gives you a foundation for future debuff stacking characters coming in later patches. You'll be able to take advantage of new elemental eroders, new debuff enablers, and new archetypes that pair perfectly with her kit without having to wait for reruns or rely on the past meta. In short, for new players, pulling Chisa is an investment in the future, giving you synergy potential with the upcoming wave of characters that thrive on stacking negative statuses. But from the veteran free-to-play perspective, whether you're strictly free-to-play, a dolphin, or even a whale, her value right now is limited. Realistically, she only replaces Rover in teams built for Psychona and Phoebe, and that's assuming you even have those characters in the first place. So, the conclusion is simple. New players should genuinely consider summoning Chisa because she sets up your future roster, while veteran players can comfortably skip her unless she fits into the exact debuff stacking teams they already run. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found it helpful, make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!